But on Saturday, Iowa became the 10th school in women's college basketball history to sweep the Naismith Awards. Lisa Bluter took home the honor of Naismith Coach of the Year, and Megan Gustafson was named Naismith Player of the Year, making Megan the first consensus National Player of the Year in Big Ten history. And on Saturday, we'll find out if Megan sweeps the National Player of the Year awards by winning the John R. Wooden Award, and I'll be willing to bet Megan's got a good shot at taking that one home too. While Megan's in Florida getting some hardware to bring home, the Big Ten was handing out some hardware of their own in Iowa City as they hosted the men's gymnastics tournament for the first time in history. Unfortunately for Iowa, the Hawks ended the first day in last place. However, 5 individual Hawkeyes qualified to compete on the second day. Jake Brudizan on the rings, Stuart Brown on vault, Nick Merriman on parallel bars, and Andrew Herodor and Rogelio Vasquez on high bar. Iowa took home 3 individual awards, and even though Iowa finished last in team competition, head coach J.D. Reeves has a lot to be proud of.
So obviously we had a difficult conversation in the locker room last night. Like, why did that happen? What did we do? What can we learn from this? And I'll say this about them. I really like this group. I've been saying that over and over. They're maturing. They're growing up and trying to figure out, like, we did something wrong. We made mistakes. What can we learn from it? And I think our performances tonight kind of showed some of that discussion. And these guys obviously stepping into lead in finals and be like, no, this is the Iowa team. This is the gymnastics we do. We get back in there on Monday and we get one more good week of training in before we head to Champaign. And I think they put a nice cap in that tonight.
Iowa will travel to Champaign next week to compete in NCAAs. Men's gymnastics wasn't the only sport that had a Big Ten team in town. Baseball hosted Rutgers this weekend for a conference series. On Friday night, Iowa defeated Rutgers 6-1 thanks to a big 3-run homer here from Isaiah Fuller and then 6 shutout innings from Cole McDonald. Iowa clinched the series on Saturday with a 9-5 victory in this first game of a doubleheader, but then fell 15-3 in the second game.
Game 1 and Game 2, we thought we played really well. Hit the ball all over, hit a lot of extra base hits, threw the ball really well. Game 3, kind of let it get away from us. Rutgers came out and they really played well, but getting 2 out of 3 is always good in the conference play.
You know, in this league, every team that we play is really good. There's no easy games. There's no weak teams. Everybody is really good. And if you don't play your best, especially the type of team we have, you know, this is always possible. What you saw today. I mean, it's such a fine line, and it seems like you know, we've struggled to realize that we're not good enough to roll out of bed and go out and beat anybody without playing our absolute best. A doubleheader day is tough. It is. We've been through several, but I didn't think we handled today very well.
Good series win. Obviously, we're a little disappointed with how the last game was today, but overall, we won the series, and we just got to move on and be ready for the road.
Now, as Grant Judkins hinted at, Iowa will head to Peoria to take on Bradley on Tuesday, and then they'll travel to Lafayette this weekend for a conference series against Purdue. Now, Iowa's baseball is looking to get hot heading into this week on the road, so I think they should take some advice from the women's tennis team. After starting conference play at 0-4, the Iowa women's tennis team looked to get back to an even record in Big Ten play when they took on Maryland at home over the weekend. Iowa got off to a fast start as Michelle Bacala won in dominant fashion. After some love from her teammates, it was back to business for the Hawks. On court 1, Elise Van Hoevelen continued her hot streak as she picked up her 12th victory of the year in 2 straight sets. Iowa needed just one more victory to clinch the win over Danielle Burrich, when Danielle Burrich won in 2 straight sets to help the Hawkeyes beat the Terps 6-1, and all eyes were on the road ahead after a season's shaky start.
That we work hard and we show that we're not going to go down without a fight, and knowing that we're out here, we're here, we have a presence, and that we're willing to fight.
In no way can become complacent. We got to get back after practice and we got to stay hungry, which I really feel like this team is hungry and wants to keep going. And I'd love to see some continual development.
Iowa only has 3 regular season meets left to continue that development. That's all I've got for you in the sports studio, but come back tomorrow for more on the Big Ten's gymnastics tournament I'm flipping it back to you at the desk.